Since we've recently been on the subject of rabbet planes, I thought I'd pull this one out. This is a Stanley 75, and you won't find any statement of Stanley anywhere on the plane itself. It was made out of the Stanley factory and sold to a number of different brands. The only place that you'll find what brand it is on the blade itself. Now with this one, we'll try and get a close-up view. See if we can get it in focus. There we go, it's about the best we're going to get. You'll see this one is in the Sweetheart era. It has the Sweetheart symbol there at the bottom of the Stanley on the blade. So this one is a little bit rarer than some, but by no means think these are valuable. They're not rare, they're all over the place. They're effectively dust collectors. They are considered to be a fine furniture or model maker's plane. Not very often do I pull this out and use it. It pretty much just gathers dust. It's a display piece more than anything. The screw on the top here holds down the top section, and that has 4 little lugs on the inside, which we'll take apart in a minute so you can see more clearly, that locate this. Now they have got the ability to move a little bit backwards and forwards on this so that you can open up the throat and get more larger size shavings through there. But to be perfectly honest, you're going to want to set it and forget it. Sharpen your blade, level it out on the table without the lever cap in, hold it in place, align the top section so that the gap is just right for what you're after, screw it down, put the lever cap on, and then with a hammer just gently tap on the back until you get it come out enough for you. Now I find it works great as taking the sharp edges off corners. Fantastic for that. It's small, it's light, it's handy, it doesn't take up a lot of space on the workbench, and very quickly will take off the sharp corner of the timber, leaving it nice and safe for your family. A couple of another runs on slightly different angles and you get around pretty close to. So for that sort of thing, I think it's great. And where it's straight timber, I tend to use this over a spoke shave if I'm trying to round something. But as far as taking a rebate, it does work. It can take a wider shaving and you can line it up either side to do that. But the more you take, the more difficult it gets. Tuned up, it does work pretty well, as you can see. Now this one isn't even sharp at the moment. I've not bothered to sharpen it. It is as the blade came and I originally sharpened it when I first got it. I've used it a few times, but generally it's what plane I've got handy there to do that sort of task, and it's usually my number 93 Stanley or a block plane. So this does not see much use at all. It's more one that you'll display in your cabinet, in your tool shed, in your man cave, that people go, oh, that's a cute little plane, and you can make up some stories about. And there's some wonderful stories on the internet that you'll find if you look around about these being used as a doorstop on the Titanic. That's about all they're good for, to be perfectly honest. They are a good little plane. If you're into model making, you'll probably find one of these may be of value to you, but realistically for cabinetry, things like that, or anything of a larger scale, you're not going to bother with this. But it is cute and it is a nice, interesting piece to have in your personal museum. Now, the lever cap actually fits. Oops, just dropped the blade, so there you go, might need to sharpen that after all. Actually sits inside and catches on these lugs on the top piece, and you've got a couple of little grooves on either side that help locate it and keep it square. The blade itself is beveled down and slides up from the bottom, and it pushes against the base. So the lever cap slots in and the screw pushes it upwards and pushes the bottom down against the blade, securing it in place, and pushes against the top section of the plane. Because of that, you're not able to actually remove the top section of the plane and use it as a chisel plane, because there's nothing to hold the blade in place. Now we'll just remove this top screw just quickly. And if you look very carefully, you can see the 4 lugs on either side, and they're slightly recessed from the side, and that is because there are just enough siding there for them to sit inside and then give a reasonably smooth side. So the top wall is thicker. It's about twice as thick as the bottom wall. The only stampings you'll find, and I probably won't be able to get any image of these, but we'll give it a go. There you go. So it's 188 in the bottom, and you'll find in the top, if I can get that one in there, you'll find 188, and that's upside down, 188 and a half, if you can see that half there at the end. So the half is the top, the hole is the bottom, and I've not been able to find it on mine, but I have come across statements that if the Japanning is cleaned off the lever cap, you'll find a 189 there. Now, I can't see any of that shining through the Japanning that's left there. So I don't know how many planes had the 189. But that's about all you'll find, other than on the blade itself, the manufacturer's stamp. And that's the only thing that you'll find to identify to you which manufacturer actually put this into a box on the shelf in the shop. Otherwise, they all came from Stanley. So that is the number 75. And a nice, cute little rebate plane that it is, unless you're doing small work with models and things like that. You're working with soft timber, or it's fine detail work in cabinet making. You're probably not going to find a use for this, and you'll find other tools do a better job much more easily. No matter whether you use or collect, happy hunting.